And my guy basically responded to it in a very unforward manner. And I was like, done. I'm realizing that, wow, like I really was insecure in what I body. I began to notice myself feel a little bit more reluctant when it comes to going after the things that I wanted. Do you feel that? Hey friend, how are you? Welcome to Let's Albera. My name is Eunice Peters, and if it's your first time here, welcome to the party. It's really a party of one right now, but now you're here, so it's a party of two or three or four, wherever you're at. But I'm glad you're here. And on this channel, I talk about all things 20-something, the struggles, the joys, the fun. Hopefully you find something to feed your soul or your body. The food content part is more on my Instagram. So while you're at it, just kind of pause this video, go a little swip over and look for Joyfully Eunice, and that is me. And I have lots of more food content, day in life content, just all kinds of fun little content out there. And while you're at it, just kind of slip right back and subscribe to my channel and join the party as we grow this community of us 20-somethings who want to do things a little bit differently. You know what I mean? Okay, so anyway, today's topic is something a little bit deep. So here you go. Grab you a little cup of coffee, wine, tea, anything, because something is brewing. It's been noodling in my head for a minute, and I thought I would just come here and spend time with you talking about what's been in my heart. And the topic, is rejection. As you can probably tell from the title, is rejection. And girl, guy, listen to me. Rejection is real, okay? And I know that we all feel it, especially in our 20s, especially if you're coming out of college, finding a job, whether it's a job or a person. Excuse me, a person rejected you. We're all feeling it. It hurts. It sucks. It's sad. We don't like it. And honestly, my heart behind this video is to share with you guys my story and my experiences with rejection, experiences. Yeah, I know. Experiences with rejection, and hopefully share some tips that I've learned and things that I am going to take with me to this new year, 2023, as we're starting it with some strong lessons and hoping it's going to be a great year. So here's the setup. We're going to have two kind of buckets of things. The bucket of like rejection when it comes to our career and our life, and as we're in our 20-somethings, we're defining our career. And then the other part, the romantic area, there's something brewing in there. So just stay tuned, stay connected, and then we'll talk about that. So as far as rejection in career, so I think the best way to kind of show you guys what I mean and share my thoughts is to tell my story. So I finished college in 2017, and to be honest, when I came out of college, I did not know where I was going to go, what I was going to do. I had a lot of ideas, kind of like my curls right now, lots of curls. I had a lot of ideas of what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I didn't know how I was going to make moves, if you want to call it that. But I interned after college, and I was like, ooh, corporate America. I was liking what I was getting, what I was seeing. And at that time, I thought, okay, you know what? Let me try and get a job in business, in consulting, in airline, because I interned at an airline at that point. And your girl was getting no, nada, nope. If it can, rara, look, if it was no, I was hearing it, okay? It was no, just a bunch of no's. And honestly, it sucks, because at that point in my life, I hadn't really experienced like a moment of self-worth rejection happening to me. And here I was out of college getting like, no. That was back when, not that long ago. But here's the thing. That time of my life wasn't just tied up in the bow and like fixed when I got my big job eventually. Because eventually in 2022, I ended up getting a job in the environment that I wanted to be in. But the particular industry I wanted at that time was a no. Now, after I got the job, it didn't mean that all of a sudden my experience with rejection is just like, well, great, good to know you. Okay, bye. Just go on with your life. We're done with this. No. What I realized is that I actually carried a lot of the things I'd internalized in that season with me. And the way I realized it was I began to notice myself feel a little bit more reluctant when it comes to going after the things that I wanted. Do you feel that? Where it's like you felt rejected so much, you're like, I'm not even gonna try this time. Like, I know what you're gonna say. It's gonna be no, so I'm not gonna go there. And as I reflected on this recently, I was like, man, like, why did that feel so bad? Why did that like have such a big impact on my life? Why did I struggle so much in that season? Why was it so hard for me to take these no's? Now hear me out. A no always sucks. No one wants to hear no. Got that. But if you're hearing a no from an environment of your life, now in this context is career, and it's hurting you so much, might I invite you to dig a little bit deeper. And again, I'm no therapist. I'm not your therapist. I'm not a therapist or anything, but I am your friend. So I want you to dig a little bit deeper, because for me, what I realized was that the reason that was hurting so much for me when I was getting no's my job is because I tied my identity, who I am as Eunice, to getting that job. And I think honestly, in our 20-somethings, like, it is super duper easy for us to do that. We tie our worth, our identity, who we are, to getting a certain accomplishment. And for me, getting that bigger job was like, I need this thing to happen. And when I wasn't getting it, I kid you not, I was literally internalizing in my own heart that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't as hardworking enough. I just literally just took it in that I was not good enough. And it came back and bite me in the butt when it comes to areas where I can be good. But because I'd always just thought, I'm not good enough, because of being rejected, I wasn't able to show up in the areas of my life when I was in those positions, when I could show up. So, all that to say that if you, my friend, are facing rejection right now, I want to invite you to ask yourself, is there something that I am tying this goal to that is more than what it's presenting? Is it only a job, or is it like an identity? Are you trying to get a job, or are you trying to fill up your ego? Are you trying to get a job, or are you trying to make a point to people, to your parents, to your family, to somebody, right? Like, and that's why it hurts so much. And here's a little phrase that I kind of coined. Oh, my bad. Here's a little phrase that I am reminding myself of in this year going forward is, if it hurts, it's probably not healed. And here's what I mean. Picture a scab, right? Let's say you're in the kitchen, you cut yourself, right? And it's healing a couple days, right? You get a little scab on it. If you peel that thing too premature, it's gonna bleed and it will still hurt, right? But after like a week or so, or whatever, if you're able to be patient, I know I'm not, but if you peel the scab now, it won't hurt, because that scab, that wound has been healed. And my belief is that the reason these rejections hurt so much is because we're not healed something inside of us is not healed. And again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not, but I would invite you to grab your besties, grab your friend and say, hey, like, I think this rejection has been pointing towards something inside of me that I haven't dealt with. And again, like I said, for me, thank you, God. I ultimately, if you don't know yet, now you know, I'm a believer. And I ultimately was able to have a job that I love and I enjoy. And it's not perfect and roses still. However, those seasons will come and go. But the things that you grabbed and that you held on to and that you internalized in those seasons will carry on with you. So if you're in that space right now, in that work, in that like career, I gotta make it. I get it. I hear you. You hear me. And you're getting rejected. I want to invite you to take some time to dig deep. Ask yourself some questions and ask yourself, how am I tying this to my value? Is this where my value is at? For me, y'all, my value is in Christ, okay? As a believer, my value is in Christ. And until I allowed myself to feel and know that truth, I was still feeling unenough, because I allowed myself to think that me getting no in the situation meant I wasn't good enough. But that's not the truth. You got that? Okay, great. Okay, cool. So now to kind of like the romantic part of things. All right, okay. This is what you've been waiting for. I got the tea. It's not that much of a tea anyway, but here's the story. So the story is, I met this guy back in, I don't know when. And at first I was like, I don't know, like, he's okay. Like, I didn't really see what was there to be talking about. I wasn't really feeling him at first. Like, we know how it is. I wasn't really feeling him at first. And then he kind of was like warm towards me and was texting me and then FaceTime, and we had a conversation. And after that I was like, you got something working for you. Like for me, again, I like to know people, and then I'm like, okay. I liked him. I began to like get warmer towards him, and in my mind, okay, my 20-something-year-old mind at that point, I'm still 20-something, okay, guys, don't get any ideas in your head. At that time, I was like, okay, like this guy, I like-ish him. Let me just like be warmer towards him. And I said something that was more like forward, and my guy basically responded to it in a very unforward manner. And I was like, done. We're done. This is it. Like, I was like, oh no. It was hurting. It messed me up in a like I was so frustrated. I was angry. I was so sad. I'll never forget. I was on this floor listening to all the breakup songs in the world. I didn't even date this guy, you guys. I didn't date him, but still, somehow my mind was like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. He doesn't like me. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. There it goes again, just this not good enough thing. And again, it's because something was inside of me that was hitting. It was getting hit. It was like, pale. And it was honestly because I was insecure. I was fully insecure in who I was. I'm not even going to front. I was very insecure about who I was. And him saying no to me really did mean that I wasn't good enough in my mind at that time. Have you felt that way, sis? Have you ever felt that way? Because if you have, something is going on. And here's what happened. So after that moment, I kind of like was like, okay, like, you know, whatever, fine. Like, do you, whatever, I'm fine. I cried a little bit. I watched some romantically sad songs and all the jazz and moved on. But recently, as I reflect back on that experience, I'm realizing that, wow, like I really was insecure in who I was. That rejection hurt me because of something inside of me. It wasn't even them, it was me at that time. And that's what I want to invite you guys to think about today. If you're in your 20-something experiencing rejection, whether it's work, whether it's life. I'm not saying every rejection means that like you're bad or whatnot, but if it's the hurt, it's probably because it hasn't healed. So my invitation to you as my friend is, man, take some time to ask yourself those hard questions. Why does it hurt me so much when this guy said no? Why do I feel so bad about this when this didn't go this way? Right? And once you start doing that, you're peeling back the layers one by one. You can start seeing like, oh, okay, it looks like, at least for me at that time, for me, it was like, oh, I put my value in being chosen by a boy. And that's not where my value is supposed to be. For me, as a believer, it's in Christ, right? And I wasn't living in that truth. I believed something that wasn't true. I was building a life on something that wasn't even true about who I am. That was my experience. And so when I think about rejection now in this environment, in today's world, I know a couple things. One, if it hurts, it's because it hasn't healed. And when it comes to the romantic part of things is, I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And that is okay. And you aren't going to be everyone's cup of tea. And if ultimately what you're looking for, whether it's work, whether it's personally, whether it's romantically, is if you want something, that thing doesn't want you, that's not the fit you're looking for there. You want something that you want and that wants you. And there you have a fit, right? And so my encouragement then is, my friend, I hear you. I see you. It sucks to be not chosen. But in the long run, for your 20s and beyond your 20s, why is it hurting so bad? And once you have that question answered, I believe that you're more equipped and more able to face rejection, whether it's a boy or girl or job, an environment, a city, and know, you know what? Actually, this is not a reflection on who I am. Like, I'm not a bad person because I wasn't chosen. No, the situation wasn't right for me yet. And if you're a believer, like, girl, sis, inviting you right now to take your time and ask yourself, who does God say I am? He says you're loved, you're chosen, He's for you, He's with you, He is in you. And when the world says no, God says, I got you, sis, you're my girl, okay? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of like all over the place, but my point to you today, my friend, is if it hurts, it's probably not yet healed. And I would invite you to take time to do some healing work. Find a therapist, find a friend, talk to somebody about how you're feeling about certain things, about how it feels when you get rejected, and dig deep. Because that way you can show up into your next job, your next relationship, just like knowing that I am not the problem. You are not a problem. Okay? All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe, like go down there, subscribe, and I will be creating more content. And if you want the TLDR on my hair, I know you're asking and thinking about it, it's on my Instagram. So again, follow me on Instagram to learn more about how I did this to my hair. It's a whole story thing, it's in my highlights. And on that topic, I'm going to be doing just a questionnaire kind of situation of topics you want to hear me talk about. So if you have a topic in mind, you're like, I want to hear your thoughts on this, please put me a link, write me a note, go on my Instagram, let me know, and I'll be putting that for you guys to hear. I really do hope that you go out this week and you believe in who you are and know that rejection does not mean you're not good enough. Okay? All right. Well, enjoy your week and take care. I will see you next time. Whoa. Before you go, before you go, always remember that I am encouraging you to feel empowered, feel very empowered to create the life you love. All right? Bye.